Welcome to my world. Won't you come on in? I know that song just came to me right before I hit record. And I think because the conversation I want to have today really is about this world being a lot of worlds. And whether we realize it or not, we are choosing the world that we want to live in or vibrate in. So this has been on my mind for a while, even through COVID, through recent elections, and the outing of so much dirt, so much stuff for quite a while, years. And it's sort of come to this point where I think we need to pay better attention. I read on social media yesterday this one statement that was along the lines of how the people of the United States have been duped and it's all crumbling. And I thought, that's completely powerless. And if we continue to think that way and share posts like that, and I get it, and even the person that shared it's a loving, caring person, and I'm sure wants to help all of this stuff, all of this creation that's happening. But if we continue to let those old habits be a thing, this big change, this big shift that we're all going through will potentially be longer and less pretty along the way. And, if you think about, like, just in politics right now, and I don't really like to get into politics, but there's a point to be made here. Both parties, both major parties in the United States, there are many people making that type of statement and feeling like they're right. One is saying, we have been duped for a long time. That's all crumbling and getting fixed. There's another group that says everything was fine, then we got duped, and now it's all crumbling. So no matter how you look at that, it's your mindset that is either helping this move forward or not so much. Even our negative thoughts have honey in them because every time we think any thought, the opposite of it exists. And the real desire of what we want is what is sort of put out there to all of creation. But it happens in a much better way. Instead of saying, I hate how this is happening, I don't like that one, I don't like this, I don't like this, I don't want any more of that. The rocket of desire of what you really want is in there and is noted. But doesn't it make sense to think of what you do like? To look at a problem quickly and then look at the solution or where a potential solution could be. Because we know for sure the problem and the solution on any topic do not live in the same space. And that's why it feels bad when we keep regurgitating these powerless, negative thoughts and the complaining and the fear and even the violence that people have just formed habits around over many, many years. I mean, lifetimes. We're in a state now where we have got to pay attention to what's really going on here and get our trust in order. It's important for us right now to be a light that shines, not to try to shine your light and fix this and illuminate that, but to just be a light that shines. If you're listening to this podcast or other podcasts like it or books, whatever, you're one of those souls, one of many, many who intended to be here right now to help facilitate a really nice transition of this human condition, of this whole planet. So how do we do that well? How do we really help in a loving, positive way? Well, one thing we can do right now that is very important is to hold your own counsel. Not in your brain, but in your counsel of how you feel, how you resonate. Bring it all home. There's so much out there that's being said that's so untrue, but pay attention to how you feel. When you hold your own counsel, you can tell without putting what everybody else says and what I think and just how you feel. Does that feel like something that is pure positive love, or does it not? Does it feel accurate, or does it feel polluted? Because when we bring it here to the space that we reside in, and then we pay attention to how we feel as we're saying something, or as we're reading something, as we're watching something, as we're complaining about something, that gives us really good feedback for whether we're adding to the muck or whether we're adding to the good stuff, the positive motion forward, whether we're dragging ourselves through this and making it really hard and rough, or whether we're lightening the load. So do your own research even. Look for the honey in absolutely everything and everyone. You don't have to agree with everyone. But I think it's important to understand that everybody thinks they're right. And so should we all be right? Well, we create our own reality. And we'll find things to make what we believe seem more correct or accurate. But again, take it back to how you feel. It's so important right now for all of us to find our trust, remember our trust, if you haven't already, in divine order, in the intelligence that is creating, maintaining, managing all of this simultaneously with our best interest as a forefront. Then we can step back. We can take a broader view. I always say step back and look at it from the non-physical perspective or heaven's perspective, whatever makes better sense to you. Step back and get that broader view and realize that everything is working out for all of us. And right now we're going through sort of the stretching, growing pains of shaking off a lot of negative habits human beings have had for a very long time. So it looks odd, it looks chaotic. There's, like I said, a lot coming out into the open. And that just has to be. That's how we get clarity. That's how we find our own personal truth. Because we have free will. We can choose positive or negative. We can make this easy or hard. But doesn't it feel good to just step back and say to yourselves, okay, I might not understand why all of this is so bizarre seeming, but there has to be some order to it. There has to be many, many reasons why things are just moving and shifting. We are going into a period of more love, more ease, more balance. It doesn't look like it right now if you look at it from a very hard perspective, but you can see it right now. Like I said, broaden your view a little bit, get easy about this. And you won't be so full, if you are, of fear, like many people are right now. Talking about violent things, pushing back against other people, having negative conversations, complaining and doubting, putting other people down, and even feeling satisfied when you see other people fail or get hurt or lose or get in trouble, etc., etc. Isn't it an interesting thing that we've developed habits oftentimes of feeling some type of satisfaction when other people are hurting or are defeated? So it's important to ask ourselves, how am I contributing here? Am I trusting? Because that's where your power is. When you trust, you're becoming recognizably more one with all of creation. And there's nothing to fear there. There's nothing to really doubt. There's nothing to feel powerless about. I would get curious. Curiosity and playfulness will get you a lot. So if you can find ways to just be sort of determined to live in a world where things work out and where there is more love, more people coming together in really, really good ways, more joy, more acceptance that we are all different. We have different perspectives, But that's why we came here. This is a world of contrast. This is a world of a lot of difference, a lot of variety. That was the whole point. We need to do that. We need to have that difference, but we can have it in a more understanding way. We can realize that it literally takes every kind of people to make what this life is about. And so when we, more often than not, think thoughts and have conversations or bow out of conversations that aren't helping. So if we more often than not, and the more often the better, when we can form new habits of speaking and thinking and watching and expecting in ways that are full of ease, that are easy to see the honey in. When we can say, well, I don't understand why that's happening. I don't agree with it, but here's how I would love it to be. Daydream about how you would love a situation or a government or a world or whatever to be. Because, we're here creating. This is on us. Like I said, free will, we can choose whether we want to keep whining and complaining and feeling powerless, or whether we want to find our own peace and let that radiate out. We're not here to fix a broken world. It's not broken. We're here to experience through contrast and variety and remain as whole as we will allow ourselves or as we have a desire to. So I just wanted to put that out there just to say from what I've learned over the years, joining in on the negativity, whether you think you're right or not, joining in on the pushing back and the fear and the being mean to other people is hurting you. It's certainly not helping. And it's not helping the greater good, all of us. And you know that because it doesn't feel good. So two things happen when we're being positive, when we are willing to look for the honey, when we are being curious, when we're being playful, when we're expecting things to go well, even if we don't understand how they are. Two things happen. You feel better, and you're contributing better. Your life gets better. The world gets better. So that's the world I live in. It's a nice world. I dip out of it from time to time. Of course we do. We all will while we're here. But that's the world I live in. So come on in if you like. It's definitely nicer than living in a fear-filled, negativity-filled state of being. So that's all I have to say about that for now. Hope that makes sense. You're always welcome to share your thoughts. You can find me at mysticaltruths.com.